Hi everybody, welcome to Reality Buzz TV. I hope that you are subscribed here, but also make sure that you are subscribed to and so that you can get the gossip over there, you guys. Okay, so today we're going to talk about episode 4 of the Ultimate Girls Trip Real Housewives, the South African version. Okay, yeah, the girls are in Jamaica. I don't know, you guys, why this episode didn't get me so excited, because I just watched it right now and it wasn't so bad. But I'm gonna tell you things that are starting to irritate me when it comes to this show. Number one, you guys, I do feel like we needed Lonely London this season, and I think we needed her more than I thought we needed her, because I just keep waiting for her spice to come. Now she's not in Jamaica. Apparently she only arrives when they are about to leave. So I don't know if we're only gonna see her for like 3 episodes and then she'll be done. I don't know why she hasn't come, you guys. Apparently something is delaying her getting to Jamaica. And I kind of feel like I really want that combination of Lassie and Lonely London. I think that is going to make a difference, because things right now are so petty. The things that they are fighting about here, like I'm just like, can I get something else? Okay, so this wasn't the most exciting episode, but definitely there are things that were done and said in this episode that are worth discussing, you guys. One thing that I realized in this episode is I feel like Ulitabo, I misread her. I misunderstood who she is when it comes to how she does the show, because I really felt like she was going to be one of those people that was not worried about the clicks, you know. She was just going to come and be friends with whoever she becomes friends with. But I do feel like at this point, I kind of feel like she really wanted to be part of that clique, Nonku, Liz, and Beverly. And even when Lassie was trying to really like get to know her and be closer to her, she knew that Lassie was not really going to be part of that clip, because Lassie and Nonku have this unspoken beef, it's not that serious, but it's serious at the same time. It's not that deep, but it's deep at the same time. And I think she knew that if she clicks up with Lassie, then she wasn't really going to be able to click up with the Nonko side, and she chose Nonko's side. Also, I am now interpreting her exposing Crystal in a different way now that we are here in episode 4, because initially, you guys, when it came out that Crystal had been physical with one counselor when they had a Kenya trip in one episode of Real Housewives that we never saw, I thought that only Tab was concerned with the truth. She wanted the truth. Now I'm interpreting it different. I feel like she wanted to make a mark to the others to say, this is not my bestie, because if on the first day that you're in Jamaica, your castmate, because there is the castmate that Ulitabo was on a show with, you want to make sure that she's not your friend and you are willing to throw her under the bus. I feel like even then she had decided that she wanted to click up with certain people, and she had to indicate that no, actually it's not like automatically I'm going to be friends with Crystal. I think that's why she threw Crystal under the bus. That's how I'm interpreting it right now. Whereas in the beginning of the season, I thought that she just wanted the ladies to know that Crystal was not a victim that episode. And I guess that you guys, she got her wish, because now it's the 4 of them. Now they are being called the Alliance. I'm not understanding if Letabo and Nonko are that close, but obviously when it's all of them, when it's the 4 of them, they are together, you guys. Also, the hypocrisy here, people will say things, but they don't want things to be said to them. I don't know, you guys. I don't know, okay? And it was like so petty in this episode. Also, why am I doing? Sorry, guys. So you guys, listen, at the beginning, remember last week, Litabo and Crystal did try to talk their things out. It didn't work out. Crystal ended up walking away. So now, for some reason, because Lassie had brought Crystal to have a conversation with Litabo, now Crystal is Lassie's friend. Anyway, I do feel like, even though Lassie, I feel like she's trying to not be clingy to any of the friendships, but it does feel like she is more on the Crystal and Mel, because I think that she's trying to have an open mind, even though they know what they know about Melanie Felion, but she's trying to hear her out when she's speaking. I don't like, you guys, the fact that, listen, I'm one of those people that said right at the beginning that I feel like Melanie Felion is not telling the truth or the whole truth when it comes to the Tammy Taylor situation, okay? And I did say that her and her hubby, the relationship is a little bit weird, okay? So the things that they are accusing her and him of, her recording them and then maybe sending it to the husband and maybe him giving her tips on what to say, I think that is totally possible, you guys. But I don't like the fact that now it's getting to a point where every single cast member is trying to have an issue with Melanie, because Melanie might have been lying about the Tammy Taylor situation, but right here, has she done anything to you personally to have an issue? Maybe the people that can have issue with Melanie would be Liz, because they have had those exchanges. Maybe it's Beverly, because it's like they are friends, they make up and then something happens. But the rest of them, honestly, Mel hasn't done anything to them, but it's like they want to pick on Mel now. I never thought that I would ever even try and defend Melanie Felion, but this episode became petty for me because of that. It's like everybody just wanted everybody to understand that they all have an issue against Mel. Maybe they have a reason because of the recording thing, but it just became boring that way, okay? Now, you guys, listen. So Lassie, Noko, Liz, and Bev are they were riding together. No. At the beginning, they were just hanging out, okay? And they were talking about Mel, the friendship with Mel, and Bev was trying to explain to them where they are with Mel, because apparently when they came on, they did not have any issues with each other. They thought they were going to be friends, but then it didn't work out. She says that at some point she had asked Mel, is it really important for you to like me? And Mel had said, yes, I guess it softened Beverly. Now Beverly is willing to give Melanie a chance. So I think that, you guys, it's difficult because nobody else really cares about whether they're friends with Melanie or not. And with Beverly, even though she wants to try with Mel, it's difficult because the others just don't care, and she wants to be friends with them as well, you guys. So it's a mess like that. Always no nonko, you guys. I don't know. I kind of feel like unonko is that person that you meet a person, you become friends with them, and then she's that type of a friend that wants to do everything with you. If you're on a trip, she wakes up, goes to a room, or you wake up, go to a room, and if you by the pool, she's by the pool. If you hear, if you go to the jacuzzi, she's gonna be there. I think she's that kind of friend. If we're friends, then we must spend all of the time together. I don't know how they do, you guys. Listen, I love my friend very much, but I made it by myself. I'm that kind of a person, when guys, even when you visit me at my house, I will entertain you and I will cook for you and everything. But if you are staying longer than just maybe a day visit for a few hours, I'm going to take moments where I just go and sit a camera in. No, I love you, my friend. Okay, while you're watching TV, I go sit a camera. Like, I'm that. I just always need, I know on YouTube it doesn't look like that. I look like an outgoing person, guys. If I could, I would spend my whole life in my bedroom, okay? Close to my blankets or under my blankets. I'm that kind of a situation. So definitely I wouldn't do well with a friend that just because now we're friends, now everything. And I feel like Unoko is that person. And I guess it works for them and George because they look like that kind of person. Because we always just, sometimes I'll be like, because they are always together during the week. They're together. The weekend they're together. They're swimming by Jojo's pool and all of that. So I think she's that kind of friend. So now it's like we are not really getting to see Ulis away from Nonku, and we're also not getting to see Unonku away from Liz. And that way, you guys, I don't feel like Liz has been able to build any other friendships except for this. Okay, so it's either you want to be part of a clique and just spend time with them, or you're just going to find yourself over there by Crystal and Mel, who are really like, because every episode I'm watching, I just feel like Crystal is not really okay, but I can't put my finger on it. But she's not the Crystal that we know, you guys. She's not the Crystal, and I feel like the cast now understands that what Crystal is not herself, so they are not going for her that much. I don't know if it was a discussion with production or something, because at the beginning everybody was just like, what is wrong with Crystal? But now it's like they're just like, oh, okay, it's Crystal. It might be that they are used to her being like crazy and not acting reasonable. So now they don't make it a big deal, but I do feel like definitely they've just accepted that now and then she's going to say some crazy things. Don't disagree with her, because then it becomes bigger than it's supposed to be. But definitely I'm still feeling like Crystal shouldn't have done the show, because I feel like she must have been dealing with some things. And I don't know, maybe she needed the money. Does she need the money? Is Crystal still rich? So yes, you guys, so I do feel like now they are kind of leaving her alone. Now, you guys, when it comes to Crystal and Melanie, oh, Crystal wants a friend that doesn't challenge her, and when she lies, she's like, "Really, my friend?" I mean, she was sitting there saying that yeah, she once got what 31 million in one day, and she once had dinner with the president of the United States, and Melanie was like, "Oh, Campbell, girl." Good for you. Crystal wants a friend like that. I think that's why she's clicking up with Mel, because I think they are both delusional, but it's different kinds of delusion. Crystal is delusional in a crazy way, like obviously crazy delusion. Whereas Melanie is a delusion that thinks everybody around them is delusional, and they are the only sane ones. She always has to remind the people, with no, 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 this is the reality, and yours is not a reality. So I think that's why you guys, they are able to get along. Is it genuine? You can never really know with Melanie, because I think Melanie is one of those cast members that is conscious about the fact that they are doing a show, is conscious about what they say, what they're doing, and all of that. And so I don't know if we are getting a genuine person when it comes to Melanie. But I do like, you guys, that Crystal has that friend, okay? Because who is she gonna be friends with? Because everybody else can't bear her craziness. Of course, Lassie is trying, but I also don't think that Lassie and Crystal are like besties. That's why I was saying I really want Londi London to come now, because that's a friend that Lassie is going to end up having. And also, you guys, they really are a good combination. Lassie, no Londi London, and it was lovely to watch them on Real Housewives. So I'm hoping that they were still going to have that thing when it comes to Londi London joining the show. That's why I'm saying that I wish that Londi London had shot more episodes than we are going to see, because clearly it wasn't a lot of them, because we are in episode 4 and we still haven't seen him. Now, you guys, they were all just sitting and hanging out. Now, it wasn't the cliques, it was everybody there. Now, Udoko is there and Ulasi is there. And then Ulitabo decides that she's going to be a principal and be like, so this is what Lassie said about Unonko. Lassie, because remember, Unonko thinks Lassie didn't want that man to sleep in the house, because the interpretation for her was that they are being loose women and they are being cheap, and that's why they want a man to come at their house the first night that they see them. Listen, guys, these women are brave, but I'm sure that the show does have security. Maybe that's why they feel so secured, because I can't imagine going to a foreign country, and then you go clubbing or whatever, and then just before you leave there's a man, and then you call them, and then now you want to go and spend time with them where you live. What if it's a serial killer? And I was like, okay, but again, maybe they do have like security, and they don't really have to worry about that, you guys. Listen, was it about security when it comes to Lassie, you guys? I think that it was. I think I agree with the fact that if I had gone out with a group of friends and then we were coming back and they were bringing back a stranger, that I would be nervous about it. But you guys, I don't remember Lassie saying anything about Nonko being a slut, Nonko being a whore, and all of that. I think those are the Nonko's interpretations of how she's behaving on the trip. She is, because she knows that she's behaving in that way, she's expecting that others are thinking that she's being a loose woman, she's being cheap, she's being a W. I think that that is what she feels about herself. But she keeps saying that Lassie said it, but I'm like, I didn't hear Lassie say it. Maybe Lassie thinks it. Maybe Lassie thinks it, you guys, but she really hasn't said it. Noko was even saying it's deeper than that because in season 1 of the show, The Real Housewives of Durban, Lassie had said that Unonko ne sex are like this. You know, when that happened, they were playing a game, they were having a sleepover somewhere in some hotel room somewhere, and they were playing games, and they were asking questions that were like sexual questions or sex questions, something like that. And Unonko, you guys, when it came to season 1, when she got an opportunity to talk about sex, she would do that. So then the understanding with everybody is that Nonko likes talking about sex, So that's what Ulase was saying when she says Unonko ne sex, because every question she would link it to the sex. So even in that, you guys, I never interpreted it like she is saying Unonko is a loose woman. But even here at the trip, you guys, Nonko is not behaving like an unloose woman. So it's like, I'm not going to say that she is a loose woman, but, but she's not behaving like the opposite, if you get what I'm saying, okay? Because they met this man that was interested in Liz, and then Nonko snatched this man. This episode, they're talking about how they drove 2 hours to go see this man, who ended up going 50-50 with them on, was it lunch or drinks? So the guy is not really felt rich, okay? It's kind of broke. It's one of two things, actually. The guy might be either broke, or he's a very intelligent man and a married man at that. And it's like, I'm not going to spend my family's money on some very easy going women. Can we say that they are easygoing? These women from South Africa who have driven 2 hours to come see me when we have really nothing, because it's not like she's already dating this woman. I don't know why guys is behaving that way. And I don't know, it's like just she is. I know she's an adult, because people can say she's an adult, she can do whatever she likes, but it's also confusing as to where she is at with her life right now. Is she really looking for something serious, or she really just wants to play around? Because ever since she met this guy that she saw once and wanted to take back to the villa, now she's not talking about her man. So what does that mean? She's broken up with her man because of a man that she met in Jamaica. That didn't really like her, because the man was interested in Liz. I really feel like that man was more interested in Liz. And I think that Liz would have been bothered if this man was really a potential for her. I think because they drove the 2 hours, and when they got there, the man didn't want to pay. He said 50-50 or something like that. Liz doesn't mind Nonko taking that man, because it looks like it might not be a rich man. I think he was like, listen, if you want him broke, honey, just take him. I think that's fine. But I think had it been different, the meeting of the man and the man being interested in Liz, I think she would be bothered by that. Okay. But guys, I don't know what's happening with Nonko with this thing of her running after men. Okay. So maybe even is it let's show about how they met. Maybe that's true. I just really need Unugo to take it easy when it comes to meeting the man, okay? Maybe she can have fun in Jamaica, but just take it easy. Don't brag about them too soon, because when you meet the next one, now you want to, move on to the next one, because I thought Nugu was about to get into polygamy. The guy that is dating someone else, but now we don't hear anything about that guy, okay? Now, you guys, there is this thing where they are saying that, so what had happened was Liz had gone to ask Melanie if she was okay, because she was separate from the group. They were hanging out, but she was separate from the group. And Melanie turned around and said, I'm Melanie Viljoen. Of course, I am okay. Okay? Liz takes offense to that, you guys, because I've been saying these are aunties, okay? Even I'm an auntie, I'm a gogo, but I know that there's this thing going on online. Like, I'll be like, of course I'm a mother. Of course I did it. Of course I'm a mother. You know, it's a thing online. It's a thing on TikTok. Now, Liz was offended by that, but she is trying to explain to me, no, guys, it's just a trend. I was actually joking because now Liz is thinking it's a big thing where Melanie was just looking down at her, but Liz was just being a baby because I think she's really, really young. How old is Melanie, guys? You know, so she follows the trend and she was just saying it. Okay, it's either she was just following a trend or it's a thing that her husband said, because you must use this one of these lines. I'm sure she has a script. I'm sure she has a script by her husband, Ulona, or Melanie. So now it's a bigger thing. She's trying to explain, guys, it's a trend, and the others are like, you can't really speak about trends because some people might not know about trends. Okay, I think they were just proving to her that they are really magogos when it comes. Trend. And I feel like, but guys, here is how I felt about that. I did feel like some of them might be lying because they are having this thing of wanting to have something against or Melanie, all of them now. Everybody must have an issue with Melanie because I feel like there's no way, you guys, that all of those women have never seen that or heard that on TikTok somewhere, because it's not just on TikTok. Sometimes we see it on Instagram. Sometimes we see it over here on YouTube. There is no way that they don't know that there's a thing like that. In fact, when Melanie was trying to explain and say, guys, it's a trend thing on TikTok, everybody should have been like, oh, but they're like, no, you can't speak like that. We can't speak like that with your friends. I'm like, hey, guys, when I say what's this this episode, it's things like that that I'm just not understanding. Like, are you really being genuine when you say you are bothered by her saying that? Because now she's explaining. Let's just say you don't know the trend, but she's explaining now. Why are you still upset about that? So you guys, anyway, there is a back and forth that happened between Crystal and Olithabo. This is where I was like, Olithabo, we are confused, guys. This season, I love her, but we are confused because you guys, Olithabo was talking about the trend thing with Melanie, because Melanie at some point had said, "Not today, Satan," referring to Lithabo. Guys, who doesn't know that statement? Like, let's just say you don't know it from the world. Like, on reality TV show, that thing is used so much. Real Housewives of Atlanta is used that. Not today, Satan. Candy even once wore a t-shirt written "Not today, Satan." It's just the thing. So while they were talking back and forth like that, she was like, "Not today, Satan." Now Olithabo is out here pretending like she doesn't know that statement. She is now taking offense to the fact that Melanie is calling her Satan. And I'm like, what? Sometimes now you're behaving like Satan. So now it's a thing until Melanie says, listen, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Okay. But Melanie, we are act a lot of the times. Okay. But I really didn't feel, I felt like these women know these things. They know this and they know they're not today, Satan. You know, they know this thing. Of course, I'm Melanie Viljoen. Of course, I'm okay. I'm Melanie Viljoen. They know these things, but because it's Melanie, they're going to pretend that it's a big thing because they really, I think they're trying hard for Melanie to be a villain, and she is a villain because she already is a villain with the Tammy Taylor thing, but now it's almost like there is a plan from the cast to make sure that they put a nail on her coffin that she is a villain. Okay, so everything she says, everything she does now becomes bigger than it would have been if it was done by someone else in the cast. And I'm sitting here not even believing that I'm defending Melanie Viljoen, but this is how much this episode bored me, because I was like, you guys are just being like extra petty now. Now listen to this one when I say that people are hypocrites. Now Lithabo has an exchange with Melanie. Melanie ends up saying, listen, forgive me, you know. I apologize. I didn't mean it that way. It's just a saying. It's a trend. And then they're like, you can't speak with trends like that. Then Crystal makes a comment to say, but to Litab. But when you were saying things about me, you were not considering how I'm feeling about the situation and how that is going to affect my family on social media. Remember that Litabo revealed that Crystal had been physical when they went to Kenya. So she's saying, why are you so bothered by what people are calling you when they're calling you Satan and all of that? But you did not think about that when you were saying things to me. Okay, Litabo looks at Lassie and says, Bamba inja yako, put a leash on your dog. But she says it in her language. Okay? Then you guys, everybody doesn't hear. Even the Zulu girls were like, what are you saying? Okay? Because I think last year I understand a little bit, but she was like, what are you saying? Say it in Zulu or say it in English. She didn't say, when she said it in English, she's like, no, tell your friend, talk to your friend, meaning Crystal, because Crystal was talking to her, talk to your friend. I'm like, that's not what you meant when you said that. You were not saying talk to your friend. You were calling her a dog. Okay, so now if Litabo now comes and said, no, but in my language is saying yokuthi bamba inja yakho doesn't mean anything, are they going to all be understanding of that? Because nobody made a big deal of the fact that Litabo just called Crystal a dog. I don't know if it's a matter of them really nobody understood it, or they just decided to not really talk about it. Now, you guys, let's turn things around. Had it been one of the girls, especially let's say Mel or even Beverly, had said that, put a leash on your dog, the internet will be in flames about this episode. Because they'll be like, you called the black girls. It will be us. So I think even in this situation, you guys, and I don't like the fact that she was sneaky about it, because you were brave enough to say it, then interpret it correctly. Say it the way that what it means. You said put a leash on your dog. Say it, but she didn't say. And I think it's possible that some did understand what she was saying, but they decided to not interpret it, so it's not a big deal. Or nobody understood it, but we surely did, because we have subtitles. Even some of us that didn't understand the language. But we had subtitles, because I was like, she's really saying that about Crystal. Okay. Now, you guys, listen. Of course, because Crystal didn't hear what Litabo said, she doesn't know what it means, then she ends up not making a big deal out of it, you guys. Listen, I do feel like Crystal is disappointed that she thought she was coming on the show and that Litabo was going to be one person that was going to have her back. It's not happening. Okay, and I think she's disappointed in that, but I think it's time now she just lets go, because it can't be that you are going to sit there and every time Litabo says something, you're like, yeah, but Mina, you said this about me. Yeah, but Mina, you said, guys, these women are behaving like babies at this point. Okay, it's not even grade 1, it's grade RRRRS. Anyway, you guys, so there is a point where Mel is trying to explain things to Litabo. And then Liz came in and Melanie gave Liz a finger. That's another thing, you guys. At this point, it's like Wild and Out. What's that show? They are just wilding now, all of them. I think the only one that is kind of behaving is Lassie. Not that I like her, but I do feel like she's kind of behaving. By the way, you guys, they do have a conversation Lassie Nonku about the exchange, about the misunderstanding about the guy. Okay. And to be honest with you guys, I can't tell if Nonko really doesn't understand what Lassie's intention was, or because it's Lassie and they don't like each other, she's making sure that she is not understanding. I'm not getting that quite. Okay. So that is the thing that Lassie got into. Other than that, she was just sitting and I guess she's having her salad. Okay. Anyway, you guys, now Liz Nononko were at the pool at some point and they were talking about this whole drive that they took, 2 hours to see this guy who happens to be broke. And now Liz doesn't mind Nonko taking the guy because Liz is not about to have a broke guy. And they also tried to invite them to the house. But then again, you know, the rules from last week where they were told was no, if you want to bring someone, you have to send an email to the agent, and then the agent talks to the production, and then production. And I think they just don't want to have people that are not part of the cast and the crew at the villa. And I think it's a good idea, you guys, just for control, so they know that whatever happens, all that the people that we have here is just the cast and the crew. If they want to go see guys, then they must go outside. I think it's a good idea. Just for it makes it easy for production to make sure that everybody is safe, at least when they are at the villa. Obviously, when they go, the drive that they drove 2 hours to wherever, they can't control that. Okay. Now, the fact that Unoku went 2 hours away, had this experience with this guy, ended up having to pay for whatever, but still wants to see the guy. Angazi ke nam guys, angazi. Then you guys, listen, they went to, but it's a Blue Mountain. There's this place that they were at, you guys. It was really nice, but the drive there, I was going to be so freaked out by the drive. And not that I haven't driven or been in the car driving, in places like that, because siphume emakhaya, guys, okay? Let's say we are endoda but uhamba ngalanga komzinyathi, when you're using that route, the places you pass that are exactly like that. But the fact that I'm in a foreign country and I'm driving at a place like that, I think I would freak out to be like, because they said they drove for like 1.5 hours to get to where they were going. But when they got there, you guys, it was really worth it, because it was a beautiful place. There was dramas, guys playing drums. And yes, you guys, it was Blue Mountain is definitely beautiful, you guys. Now, Mel comes with a bag, you guys. And inside the car, when they were driving, because the clique drove separate from the others, they were talking about how Mel is always carrying this bag, which I hadn't noticed really. But then when they mentioned the bag, I was like, yes, she's always carrying this backpack, you guys. So now everybody was wondering while they were driving there, what's happening with that bag. Then someone suggests that, you know what, that bag has a recording, because has something that that she is using to record us. And they're saying the reason that they think that is because on her show, Melanie, remember I told you that I didn't watch Mel's franchise. If I did, it was like those few episodes, and half the time I was trying to figure out what they're saying. And apparently there was an issue with Melanie recording others' private conversations. So they really believe, you guys, that she has something in the bag that is recording them. And when they finally sit down and they ask her in the conversation, because it was a back and forth, you guys, it's even hard to review it in terms of a sequence of the conversation. When they asked her, she said yes, she does, she records people. But guys, I was like, maybe it's liquor, maybe they're drinking a lot, because everybody was saying, Melanie, you are wrong for recording us. You shouldn't record us. We didn't sign anything. You can't record people without their knowledge. Melanie was saying, but you guys signed up to be recorded, which is a point, okay? But for her, they signed up for the show, but not for her. She ends up saying, no, if I am part of a conversation, I'm allowed to record. Which I thought, no, if you are going to record a conversation, you have to let the other person on the other side know that you are recording. But when she said that statement, everybody went quiet, and I was like, it's either or it's that alcohol, because I thought that they were going to disagree with her, but like, you can't just record us. She didn't deny it, you guys, but we didn't see anything, because at some point she was reaching out for the bag, and I thought she's actually going to pull out the recording device, but she didn't, you guys. Now, Mel had a bone to pick with Beverly, okay? I don't understand Mel, you guys, because I really do feel like she wants to be friends with Beverly, but every time they are together, she's trying to find something to pick on when it comes to Beverly. So now I'm not even understanding, do you want to be friends with Beverly or do you not want to be friends with Beverly? Because she ended up saying that she wants to speak to Beverly about something that she had done apparently before the show begins. So you guys, this is what happened. So she says, listen guys, I have something that I need to address, and I guess it's serious, you know. And she says, listen, before I do this, I need the alliance to give me a break. By alliance, at this point, she's meaning Litabo, Nonku, Beverly, and Mel. And they're like, we are not the alliance, we are not on Survivor, but they definitely are in alliance. If one person is not happy about something they support, it's doing that thing that they did on Real Housewives when they started being boring. Was you have to be on this side or you have to be on this side, and then the show became just super boring for us to bear. Okay, now she says to Ubev, listen, I have a bone to pick with you because I found out that before we started shooting, you were sending everybody links to my stories and all of that. But what I don't like is that the links that you were sending were the links that were presenting me in a bad way. You didn't send everything that gives a person the full picture of who I am, and also where I was able to tell my side of the story. Okay? Now, Bev doesn't deny it because Bev even mentions, no, man, her lawyer had sent her the links. This was before they started. She was just wanting to know everybody. You know, I do wonder, guys, if the links were sent about the other castmates. But I think she was just wanting to have something that she might possibly use against Mel at some point, you guys. So, kuna that back and forth again now between Mel and Bev. And then everybody now starts talking because everybody is chiming in, okay? And then she says something. Melanie. She says something, Melanie goes, no, man, your mouth is moving like a rat, saying it to Litabo, okay? Your mouth is moving like a rat. I think Melanie has an issue where she thinks Litabo speaks too loud. I think that Litabo is loud, and also she speaks very passionately. And yeah, I see what she's saying, but I haven't seen Litabo speak with a soft voice when it's a group of them. So I don't think that it's something that is an exception for Melanie. I feel like it's something that she does. My kuluma ukuluma, you know. So she says that, and then now it's a big thing. I didn't know this one, you guys, so I must be a Makoko too because I didn't know this one. But it's from some other reality show where somebody was saying, your mouth is moving like a rat, like that, you know. So basically, you guys, Melanie watches a lot of reality TV shows, even reality TV shows that we have never heard about. And half the stuff that she's saying on this show comes from those shows. You know, that's why I'm saying with Melanie, it's hard to know if we get anything that is genuine or we're just getting an actor here who is using a script that is being sent by her husband there by the Joburg. Okay, are they from Joburg or Pretoria? Okay, it just sounds like that, you guys. Listen, I don't want to lie, you guys. The reason I took so long to review this episode is because it was all over the place. And also, I did feel like Sebea Bora, and now they're going around and around. Maybe the trip is not supposed to be made to be so long. But I just can't wait for London because at this point, it's like... By the way, you guys, I did do a video where Melanie, they said Melanie is suing Unonko, and I wonder how far that is now, you guys, because of what she said about her husband being abusive. Okay, something that she wasn't supposed to say, but she said it. Okay. I wonder if the show helps you at all, into that you said on the show. Anyway, you guys, listen, I'm still watching because I think most of these women that are casted on the show, I like them, you know. I like to watch them. But definitely it is boring me that they are doing that thing of ganging up against Melanie, and then everybody just wants to find something that you don't really see, like find an issue with Melanie, even if there is no issue. I don't like that. But definitely I'm still watching. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Pumegoyo. Share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers in the tanda.